as currently serving Peace Corps volunteers in the Dominican Republic. We welcome you to the country, and we look forward to sharing our journeys, our experiences, and that of our local partners during your visit. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a este hermoso país, la República Dominicana. The Peace Corps mission is to promote world peace and friendship. Volunteers do this by providing technical assistance, sharing U.S. culture abroad, and responsibly representing the countries we serve in once we return home. The Peace Corps selects individuals with relevant experience who are excited to serve in and meet the needs of developing countries. Upon arrival to country, we begin an intensive 2 to 3 month training. Throughout the training program, we hone our professional, technical, and language skills and adapt to the local culture. In the Dominican Republic, we receive sector-specific technical training on childhood literacy in Spanish, life skills for youth, or entrepreneurship and workforce preparation. Outside of formal training, we integrate into the community, putting our training to use by gaining experience through practical activities. Key to this experience is that deep dive that we take into the culture around us by living with a host family and adapting to new ways of life. In addition to the cultural and language training, we participate in intensive training on maintaining our physical and mental health that prepares us for challenges and potential threats we might face during service. The immersion experience that volunteers receive during our Peace Corps training is unlike any other. It is a whirlwind that might leave us breathless, but definitely leaves us ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Volunteers have served in the Dominican Republic for 60 years. And just as our programs have adjusted according to the current needs of the Dominican people, so has the volunteer population in representing the different faces of America. As Peace Corps volunteers, we are as diverse as the countries in which we serve. We are young professionals and retirees, business owners and farmers, EMTs, chefs, and everything in between. The 4,859 volunteers who have served in the Dominican Republic come from every corner of the United States, and our ancestors from many corners of the world, all representing the diversity of the United States. As volunteers, we share our American culture, and we get to learn from Dominicans theirs as we accompany our local partners in meeting their development needs. In the Dominican Republic, we all work in primary or secondary schools. Our work begins with young children and basic reading skills, then follows them throughout their adolescence and young adulthood with life skills and the world of work.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Ochoa Gonzalez, and I am an education volunteer. As a literacy volunteer, my work focuses on high-needs primary schools. I work with Dominican teachers and staff to assess and identify students who are behind in fundamental literacy skills and provide the opportunity to tutor them. We design and facilitate fun ways for students to engage with their learning through songs, games, read-alouds, and traditional reading drills. I also aim to promote a culture of reading at the school as well as out in the community through home visits, literacy camps, and collaborating with local established groups. Seeing a student smile as they are able to read a whole page by themselves, and later on a short book cover to cover, is a great motivation for them as well as for myself as a volunteer. Learning to read is a gift. It is one of the most basic skills that allows a child to participate in society now and into their future as responsible adults.
As a youth development volunteer, I focus on everything related to adolescent youth and young adults. I work in my community at the high school teaching about sexual education, helping prep the students for life after school, and how to create better lives for their futures. I also work with the teachers at my school to help them acquire new strategies for their classrooms. In addition, I work with the parents of my students to help them further support their kids and their desires and ambitions by fostering healthy, safe homes.
As a community economic development volunteer, I focus on increasing my community's capacity to lead economically productive lives. Communities in the Dominican Republic face an incredibly high youth unemployment rate, so most of my work is focused in my local high school, teaching financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and employability. In addition, I work with individuals to create or improve their own small businesses to meet their financial goals, which can include providing for their families, affording a college degree, and more. Our service adapts to local needs, but is constant in its commitment to helping our communities better their lives through economic empowerment.
The impact of Peace Corps service extends well beyond the sectors in which we work and the 2 years we spend in our host countries. Returned volunteers are the first to say that the difference service makes in our own lives is just as impactful as the differences made in our communities. The service is where we hone our desire to serve, no matter where we live. The Peace Corps service is where we learn new skills and languages that go on to fuel future work in government, nonprofits, the private sector, and more. Where connections are made that bring positive change in communities across the world. And it's where peace and friendship will continue to prevail for years to come.